Are we live? People, deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all well and safe. I hope you're all in good spirits. Good morning to my guys over here in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. I hope you're all doing well and safe, people. I'm in good spirits. I can't even lie. I've just finished eating my breakfast, had some plantain and that. I can't lie. Pardon me. Slap some pepper sauce and that. I can't even lie, people. I thought, let me get the intro out the way. I need to back some water. I can't even sit here and lie, man. My mouth is burning me, people. No, I need it all, man. So, yeah, now that I've got my composure back, I hope you're all well and safe. We're going to get into the transfer rumours and things like that. While this is an Arsenal stream, I've got to be shameless. Please make sure you're checking out the pin message. This is the first of 3 live streams from myself today. So, obviously, after this, it's back to just watching the Euros and whatnot. I hope you're all here to watch Hungary versus France with me. And then, obviously, if you have to miss that one, obviously, Germany versus Portugal is probably the game of the week. I'm going out to watch Spain versus Poland. I haven't enjoyed the the Euro 2020 game. So I hope you're all there like that. So, yeah, man, shameless with the plug-in. We're going to get into everything we need to get into in a second. Obviously, that's the name's in the title. Allegedly, there's a war chest. You know, season tickets are up for renewal. Red membership is up for renewal. New kits are coming out. Pressure on the owner to sell the club, pressure on the owner to do his best, disgruntled fans because of numerous years of lying and numerous years of being sold false pretenses, and fans have had enough, so they have to do their bit to appease. Talk is cheap, doing is expensive. Talking is a currency that everybody has. Everyone's able to talk. That's the difference between many people realizing their goals and people not. You know, we hear this war chest. Admittedly, it hasn't said war chest per se, but we've heard this war chest talk all the time, man. And we'll have to see what happens, man. Obviously, and you know the many names we've been linked with at Arsenal Football Club. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't translate to what happens, but it arouses the imagination of fans. It just allows fans to dream. You know, it's enticing what fans want to do. Fans just want to believe in their football club. You know, look at the names we've been linked. Like, for me, I don't think the name is going to come, but the names are going to come. But for me, I would just like to have a certified 11/25 that I believe in, that I think can, you know, at least make a meal of things, you know, at least try and move closer towards getting the goals. Arguably, every year we get further and further from the Champions League than actually when we went out of it. So I guess that draws everything into conclusion and into perspective, people. So it is what it is in that regards, man. We're going to get into it in a sec, man, you know. You know, again, in fact, we might as well just cover it straight away. Make sure you've hit the like button. Sorry if you're not here, but I mean, the creative juices are flowing. We might as well just cover this war chest right now, man. And obviously, there's heat on Stan Kroenke. I say heat. As much as I think there is heat, there is pressure from the fans, you know, as much as I think we can get him out. On the other hand, it's a dictatorship. He's barely in England, let alone at Arsenal. When the Super League came out and all of these things, he threw his family members in his son, and obviously someone he's employed in Vinay to the Wolves. So on one hand, it's not really that deep. I guess he's been through it all, people. You know, it's more like 2.5 million rather than 250. But one can hope, one can have ambitions, one can have dreams, man. You know, obviously, again, it gets people talking. You know, we saw Isaac a couple of days ago in the Euros. We'd love that. We're linked with Camavinga. We're linked with Aouar. You know, we could have got Buendia. Odegaard's there. Then obviously you've got now who's the latest name you're seeing linked? Who are we at now, people? You get the point, innit? Every day there's a next one, innit? A man said Arteta looking like he stubbed his toe. Hey, to be fair with you, that must be him when he was told what he actually has to work with, man. He probably was told 250 million, and then he was and then it was broken down to him that a decimal is in the wrong place. But for what it's worth, let's get into it, man. You know, let's just accept it at face value, innit? You know, let's just see. A man said deluded. He might be doing this to raise the price of the club. Leaks. That I hear you, but there's no correlation, my guy. It can't. You know, it can't. Like, there isn't a correlation when you deep it down. And you know, raising the price. You know, why would you want to raise the price and then spend on transfers? You just want to take your money. A man said it's probably 250. You know, hey, it is what it is. But anyways, as you lot can see here, people. Stan Kroenke approves 250 million Arsenal transfer spree as Mikel Arteta eyes 5 signings. Now, to be fair, I'm not backing Stan or anyone, but all of these journalists and everything, they say 4 or 5 names. They keep saying 4 or 5 starting players. We all know that is subjective, really and truly. We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure many Arsenal fans, we're just hoping one arrives in the club right now, innit? You know? It is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. And exactly, you don't pay 250 million to raise the price of a club by 100. And to be fair, you know, he ain't trying to sell. But anyways, moving forward, 5 signings. You know, hopefully it's 5 signings we think can take us to the next level. A man said he wants Grealish. You know, I want Grealish as well, but we're living a movie. It is what it is. I have seen the news in relation to Zach Medley. In fact, somewhat indirectly knew about it, but it's not my time and place to speak on it. You know, Medley needs to go somewhere and play football, innit? So, you know, it is what it is. There's a bag of defenders in his way. So yeah, man, he's gonna have to try it. He's gonna have to try a thing, really and truly. You know, good luck to Medley, because he's got a great attitude and things. But in relation to staying on task with this, Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke will provide the club with an eye-watering transfer budget of 250 million this summer, with Mikel Arteta looking to build on this season's 8th place finish in the Premier League, according to reports. As we all know, but just to remember where we was, the Gunners failed to escape the clutches of mid-table during the Spaniards' first full campaign at the helm, missing out on European qualification for the first time in over 25 years. And for me, that's where we have a double whammy. Like, Arteta could and probably should be sacked just based on failing, but you have the backdrop of the historic issues that have been at Arsenal, the problem with our many practices that have been here before. I want to get to a point where, you know, if Arteta hasn't got top 4, if he's taken over, we finish 8th, gone through a whole year and finished 8th. You know, out of 38 games, he played 37 lineups, bewildering tactics and stuff. I want to say, cool, everybody's giving you everything to succeed and you've messed up. You know, on another hand, I do think there's a lot of things Arteta failed on his own back, but then you look at Arteta, you look at the many variables of people above him, it's a poison chalice, this role, you know, until the owner gets away from this club or box up his ideas, this club can't be doing serious things. We're linked with these 3 men. That will transform our midfield, you know. We've tried to get our links are back in, you know, we're whoring ourselves out for Odegaard. We're you know, our club is twerking for Maddison. We'd love Grealish if we can, you know, like I said, and you've got Camavinga and them, man. If we actually got these players we're linked with, you know, we'd be amazing. But that's all Arsenal fans can do, is just dream. It's false pretenses, it's selling dreams. And like I was getting at, as much as Arteta I can criticize Arteta and stuff, it's the backdrop of the owner. And one has to wonder, you've had Emre, you've had Arteta, you know, Pep Guardiola might come into this role next. Obviously, it won't, but hopefully. And he won't succeed if you've got a joke man owner. It's not going to be serious, man. It's not going to be serious, man. But for what it's worth, again, don't shoot the messenger, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. I'm just talking about the lineup, man. It is what it is. Here we go, people. Apparently, the squad looks set for a large-scale overhaul in the coming weeks and months, with many players expected to leave the club. Yep, every week we hear Leno, Guendouzi, Xhaka, Bellerin, them, and they are going. Moving forward, apparently, significant levels of investment will be needed for Arsenal to stand any chance of returning to the upper reaches of the Premier League table next season, given their recent lack of quality and number of expected departures. This is a view seemingly shared by Kroenke, who is prepared to bankroll a comprehensive summer rebuild to the tune of 250 million. Let's see, because again, you know, let's see. Let's just see, because we're losing money as well. And this guy just cares about the balance sheet, about the balance sheet. So we're gonna be in problems, man. We're gonna have to see, man. It's claimed that Arsenal are looking to target young, high-profile players with the ability to develop into more expensive assets. I mean, you know, to get to that next level, you can't just sign them and say, "Oh, you got potential, work your magic." It's not Football Manager. In fact, even in Football Manager, you can't do that. You know, you have to realize them. And as much as you lot can say that, you know, I don't see anything at this club. Again, time will tell, but I don't know how you're going to get players to the next level. I don't know how, you know, you've brought in Gabriel, who is a good defender, but for obvious reasons is rough around several edges. I haven't seen anything to coach that. Currently, I haven't seen how you're going to make Martinelli that Brazil international. I haven't seen how we're taking Smith Rowe and Saka when the time comes and we ask the question, how we're going to the next level. You know, people are saying Joe Willock might be a goal-scoring midfielder. Why is he looking better at Newcastle than he's ever did in an Arsenal midfield? That has to be at the manager. You've obviously got Saliba. He's linked with moves away. You've got another similar to Gabriel. How are you going to make him the player of the future? You've made Balogun sign a new deal, and it's down to Balogun how far he wants to go. But how are you going to develop Balogun? You know, it's all fun and games signing these players and things, but you've got to know how to reach potential. And at Arsenal, we sit there forever, and it's like a guy will come here, be a midfielder / he's able to play on the wing, and for 5 years he'll play on the wing, he'll play midfield, we'll sit on our hands. He just won't develop. You know, you look at Leicester, there's a scheme. Nobody talks about it, but Siencio and Fofana make mistakes all the time, but there's a system, there's development. That's why they're getting better all the time. We're not doing that. You never get the vibe there's a plan here. There's never a plan in terms of who we're bringing in, how we're bringing in, really the DNA. Because you can tell me young and hungry assets, bro. Unless Williams, Harry Houdini, then, well, you got finesse there. You can tell us that, but the actions you've done historically haven't changed things. You know, that I've said it yesterday. The team should reflect the manager, young and hungry and ambitious. I don't know if I know Arteta is young. I don't know if he's hungry and ambitious based on what I've seen last season, but the team should reflect that. We don't know what the team reflects as an Arsenal fan. I'm appreciative that there's 200 odd of you in here. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. So it is what it is. Apparently, Arsenal are believed to be keeping tabs on a number of potential targets, with Sheffield United goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale and Brighton and Hove Albion defender Ben White understood to be on the club's radar. Who knows, man? Maybe Ben White, who wasn't in the England squad yesterday, was completing a medical and Agent Saka was on the case, people. Who knows? Apparently, we're interested in Max Aarons. I mean, from agents I speak to and things like that, I would love at Max Aarons, but it just seems like nonsense. It doesn't seem like there's legs to such an argument, but I would love it to be there, man. You know, apparently we're going to get Lokonga. We'd love that. I would love that personally. I think if you get Lokonga, there's no way in hell we're going to get Basuma, because you've got Basuma, Lokonga, and Partey. I think there's every reason for that. But I think with a Partey and another guy who can play as a number 6 or be a composing midfield presence, as much as I want Basuma, I would like us to look for a number 8 or an organic 10, because I feel we'd have it. We wouldn't have enough, but we could complement stuff. You know, because Basuma, Partey, and Lokonga, they're good players, but you slap them all in midfield together, bro. We're not creating shit. Pardon my language. Arteta revealed earlier this year that he's expecting to lead a summer of changes. Bro, it's a summer of changes. It's a summer where you have to make changes with what you reviewing the season, with what you've done personally as a man. You've got to cut some people loose, because certain people are not cut up to task. It feels like you're dragging them. They're at this club because you think they're not necessarily good players, but they're good guys. You know, you need to rework your own practices. I think you should have learned a lesson with a number of these experienced players, because for all your mistakes, you've done that Wenger stuff, in that you've put your body on the line and you've put your way in front of a bullet, and these players have let you down. And half of them are busting out, you know. Half of them probably did you dirty. They probably just blocked your phone number, effed off to the Euros, and, you know, man are going to be in Italy or whatever by that time. So it's a bit of a problem. Like I said, it's a time for change. We should have been doing this last season. You know, we should have been, what we did in January should have been done last season, scrambling around for a creative man, getting rid of players, even buying up contracts. It should have been done. It's a time for brave decisions. Brave decisions he needs to ask of himself, brave decisions of people above him and around that squad. Like I said, we don't know if anything is going to be the right decision. We don't know. You might, numerous of these players that are linked with moves away, the good ones or the potential ones, not the duds. It might be the wrong decision to sell Joe, Maitland, Nelson, Guendouzi, all of these guys. It might be Ed Nketiah. It might be terrible, but it might be the right one. It might be the wrong one. My point is just double down. Double down. If you're saying sell, man, sell, man. Don't be selling, man. August, the mandate is to sell someone, you know, and then September comes. You then want to keep him. You know, obviously things can change, but it seems like too many players are halfway in, halfway out at this club, and it's not healthy when there's too many there. So things need to change, but talk is cheap. You know, you talk Arteta. Personally, I'm going to be heavily on your case if I don't see several things next season, you know, building blocks, because you cried about preseason. And I look at it, you don't know who's in goal. We don't know what's going on with Saliba or Gabriel. Bellerin's technically not there. Chambers is the right back, but again, 38 games. Should we be doing that? Tierney's at the Euro, so you're not going to have your first choice back 5, including the goalie. You know, I don't know what's going on in the midfield. You know, you have your strikers, but you need to hit the ground running. There's no excuses for nobody. So he revealed something this year. He said, we don't know yet because we have many things to do. We have people on loan, people finishing contracts. There's been a lot going on in the last 2 transfer windows. The amount of things that had to be done was probably unprecedented, and it will be again in the summer. We are trying to put a plan together to see the resources that we have, how much we want to improve, how we're going to do it, and at what cost. There are many factors. It's not just about one thing or a financial amount. It's about the project and time-wise how to build it. It's therefore going to take some effort from everyone, and we know that the challenging moments that we are facing at the moment is making it even harder. No excuses. We know that this needs to be a case. There's no excuses. You know the rule you walked into. You know, we should have known we're not getting Europe. We should have known we needed a number 8 or a 10 the minute the window closed in the summer and there's and we only brought in Partey. So I don't want to hear excuses. I really don't want to hear excuses. But for what it's worth, people, it's a very disappointing article because it actually there's no substance to it. It's just allegedly he's approved it. Like, again, when you see us linked with Ben White for 50 million and certain other things, you're inclined to believe that. But I just feel it's more, you know, positive nonsense, really and truly, just finding positives where there is none, trying to do some positive propaganda, really. And I'm sure this is not the first time that you guys have heard this. Did we not hear he put the money down for Thomas Partey allegedly? We'll have to see in that regards, man. 262 of you people locked in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. You know, sorry people, it's timestamp business. We're gonna get into the other things. $250M. Anyways, like I said, make sure you're running up the likes, people. Let me drop the links for these. I big up Hamid, who's locked in. Big up Hamid. You know, he's already in live in the Portugal thing. I appreciate that. Before that, it's Hungary versus France. So make sure you're on that case, people. Let me take in what you guys are saying before I carry on with all of this stuff, because I said I was going to take you lot in, and then I aired you, really. Man said, pray for DG. My guy's been watching Arsenal all season, now has to tolerate Southgate. Ball. Brother, trust me. John, big up yourself. Don't believe that. Bro, man, don't believe no hype. Man, don't believe no hype. This club somehow twang. Remember, was it the summer we bought Lacazette? They made out they're signing Kylian Mbappe. I don't believe none of that. And the scary thing for me is, it's not even the 250. Bro, if this club gets 250 million, I don't trust them to spend it accurately. You know, because I think we need to spend that doesn't mean I think you can't do it for less, bro. Because as much as I think Kroenke doesn't invest and he's a parasite and he's a problem, when there's been money available, whether it's Kroenke's money or somebody's hid it and brought it out, we haven't always justified the money. And it's not necessarily the big names, it's the free transfers, it's the loans. But what has Ceballos done to justify probably about, let's say, 4 or 5 million over those 2-year loans? Really and truly, if I'm harsh, I don't think Odegaard's a flop, but what did you spend? You spent that loan fee on that. What did you get from it? Free transfers of Willian, very expensive, things like that. You know, I don't think he's a flop, but 52 million on Lacazette. Did we get the Lacazette we thought we was getting, or are we proud that, you know, he works for the team and all these other luxuries we afford him because he's not the top don? You know, Granit Xhaka, don't think he was as bad, but the minute he's been here for years and we're still polarized in opinion, you know. Every year we're buying centre halves. Do I need to remind you how much Mustafi costs? Again, so mismanagement. So even if 250 million is available, do I even trust Mikel Arteta or Edu to buy the right names? Yeah, when you're linked with Aouar and all these guys that would buy in Football Manager, of course, who doesn't mind? But I don't accurately trust you, because some of the names we've been linked with, some of the decisions you've been making is an issue. And even if what Arteta, he needs more tools to at his disposal, because a tradesman's only as good as his tools, but a bad tradesman blames his tools. As much as I think this team is not good enough to get top 4 and stuff, it was definitely good enough if we had consistency, ifs and buts are not facts, but if we had a DNA, if we had proper building blocks, if the game management and player management and all these things were better, we could have definitely made more of a meal of it in the top 4. Even if you don't believe that, cool. We definitely shouldn't be 8th. Let's be real. You know, the squad isn't good enough, but let's be real. As much as I think you can't just blame Arteta, the variables have been poor, you know. So I don't trust these lot to have that available, because they don't buy the right players when they're available. They're not getting the best out of some of the tools. So again, I don't necessarily know if you're going to spend it correct, bro. You're going to spend 250 million, bro. I look at it. You're giving David Luiz a new deal. You've doubled down on Xhaka. You know, you retained faith in Bellerin. You know, Martinez was there to be the number 1. You didn't do it. I don't trust you lot with some of the names you've been linked. I don't trust you lot. I don't trust what I've seen with Mikel Arteta to even believe right now at this moment in time he gets 250 million, and Edu even more, because what has he done? He needs to prove a lot. I don't know if you're not going to spend it rightly. That's the double whammy, but we all know for what it's worth, but we're not getting 250. I think the club might surprise us to a slight degree, and again, don't shoot the messenger, but you get the point, man. Talk is cheap ultimately, man. It's just too much chattings, man. I'm hearing WARCHEST hype, but talk is cheap around there. Trust me, talk is cheap. Everyone's got that. Everyone's got that in their pocket. Doing's expensive. And that's why I said, one thing I'll give the club is I'll shut my mouth until September, because, you know, you might be able to twang me. Big up DG for the early content, 6:30 a.m. in New York. Appreciate that, my guy. A man said 250 M's. I see better than I hear, brother. I believe it when I see it. But I think we all agree, man. I think we all agree. Morning to all my people, them as well. Bro, not a happy man. I don't blame you for that name, bro. Every year there's WARCHEST. Every year we're going to improve. Every year we're doubling down. And then ultimately, you see, you know, we do this car boot sale thing, buying damaged goods. You know, we're doing nonsense, man. doing absolute nonsense. We're going to the what's that section in Sainsbury's and that before the stuff's about to go off, get it before it's gone and stuff. We start looking at that. You know, somehow, you know, William, you know, we bought William. We was told it's going out the next day. We thought we'd eat it as soon as we got home. Somehow, between driving that package home, he's gone off. It's gone off. You have to dash it in the bin. Poison. It's all moldy in that. You get what you pay for, and Arsenal love to do things. You know, we shouldn't always be talking about a centre half. It is what it is, bro. More like £2.50, bro. I'm telling you, the decimals are in the wrong place. Big up DG. When I heard the 250 million war chest, I dreamed of the title midday. Bro, don't dream. Don't dream. That's what messes it up. For me, I have to just accept Arsenal at face value, man. Don't dream. Don't allow the club to let you to dream because they're not dreaming. You know, you look at Villa, they're daring to dream because they're trying to, bro, they try to buy Smith Rowe. They're trying to build it. They're trying to get Ward-Prowse. They're trying to build a serious thing. Them man can dream, you know. Leeds, Bielsa, serious business. Them man can dream. Leicester, you know what they're on. Every other club has some sort of ambition and is moving serious, whether they're below us or not. We're just here expecting to make things change, lying and hiding behind what we once used to be of a great football club where we're just North London Red right now. We are North London Red. We shouldn't even have sponsored kits. You know, we shouldn't. Half of these players shouldn't even have their name on their back. You don't even deserve that because you're not playing for the team on the front. No one wants to remember your name on the back. Get the hell out of there. Myth. You know, look at where we are realistically. I know Arsenal isn't where it once is, but we're relying on young players, not because there's a system and they're just shining. We're relying on them to pull this club forward. Experienced players who have played for their country, played numerous times for this football club, are hiding behind them. You know, when you look at what Arsenal's about right now, you're looking at the young Haylem boys and you're looking at the players who have just arrived. Partey, whatever you say, Gabriel, Tierney, obviously Tierney showed what he's on for Scotland, and Saka and Smith Rowe. Where were these guys 2 years ago? Realistically, obviously some man were about, but you get the point, you know. Why is that's what reflects Arsenal? I don't necessarily care in that regards because I'm happy with them, but I would say that should tell the owners, that should tell the people below the owners, that should tell the manager what's going on because the manager don't reflect Arsenal, you know. There's a, you know, one thing I'll give Arsene Wenger is he was very naive. He had a lot of problems, but I think when you've had a manager like Wenger, when you've seen Pep Guardiola, you can smell cowardness a mile off, and you see it with Gareth Southgate against Scotland, and you do see it with Mikel Arteta. You know, he does have elements of cowardness. He's never been brave. When has he been brave for this football club? When has he made brave and bold decisions? Saying that, I'm not being fair to him because he has done random things like play a random false nine or put the wrong man there and play William through up front. They are brave decisions, but they're arguably stupid decisions. You know, nobody at this football club, in terms of beyond the players, the few players, are reflecting what this means for me. And you know, when you show me that Arteta, I'll change my mind. But from what I've seen, is Arteta is just a mouthpiece. He speaks the part. He does the talking, you know, he tells me about young players, but when the pressure's on, you mismanage players, you mismanage players with injuries, you bewildering tactics, not betting on the right players, you know, can't deal with certain personalities. The players that you have bet on, they've snaked you. Bellerin, Leno, Xhaka, they not owe you nothing. They're allowed to. I'm not even vexed with them. I'm vexed with them for all being shit footballers. I'm not vexed with them for wanting to leave this club. They didn't grow up in Islington. They didn't grow up in North London. They're footballers. It's a job. It's face value. The ages they're all at and the experience they've all accumulated, they're within their rights to try something else. I'm at Arteta for daring to make these guys feel vital because he should have learned from his predecessor. You know, these footballers, or the majority of them at Arsenal, you know, we could sack Arteta today. I could take the job, people. No, not that I would ever, but I could take the job. And then for the first 5-10 games, you lot probably say, yeah, Arteta sacking was the right decision. These lot will play well. You'll see all the articles. DG tells us everything. He makes us say people before the game, and then he gives us homework and all of this, and they revert to type. These players are poison, and as much as I get at Arteta, the man to my right, or you lot's, well, my left, technically, you lot's right, Kroenke, you have any walk of life, realistically, people, you know, if you're giving someone a managerial position, and he's never been a manager before, are you not going to surround him with, I'm not saying necessarily someone to look over him, but someone he can lean upon? Because, you know, he's a young manager. He's a novice. He's not being provoked to think differently. You know, it's all about minimizing mistakes and maximizing what wins. I don't have a problem with Arteta making a mistake, or any manager, but he's not learning from it. He's not, and there's not that healthy pressure, because I don't think somebody's sitting there in the change rooms or in his office when the game's done and say, why did you do that? Why did you sell this player? Why did you do that? There's no healthy amount of praise left to his own devices, really and truly. And this is the many problems. And for me, I feel a bit sorry in that regards in Edu, because he's a novice. But same way, I can't lie, I'm very onto Edu this summer. I'll give him a play if he gives me a good window, but I'm on to Edu. Edu needs to pull it out. Pull it out. And then again, I don't want to get my hopes up for the season, innit? Because personally, we're just going to do the same things over and over again. But what I would like to see is just a damn right DNA, better consistency, just the minimums that many Arsenal fans would want to see. But pardon me, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Very depressing, man. Just got to accept it at face value, man. It is what it is with this club, man. To be fair, this was one of the first only Arteta Kroenke pictures I could find, man. It was a quick thing. I was pressed against time today, man. My dream is for us to buy Maddison. My dream is to get Neymar and Mbappe. That's why it stays as a dream still. To be fair, 250 mil, that can, you know, it's not what it used to be, but let's be real. 250 mil can do a lot for this squad. Let's be real. Let's be real. That can get you 2 midfielders for me. That can grab us a right back. I'm sure like, I'd even have change for a centre half, especially because while people aren't going for cheap, we need to probably add a COVID sort of discount to everything. Look at Jadon Sancho, you know. Dortmund arguably idiots. They should have, obviously he's helped them this season, but they should have sold him for way more to Man United. Now Man United getting a bit of a premium if they can sort it out, man. And this is my point, man. You know, Arteta, but that's the thing. As much as I have concerns about Arteta, even if we was to get a certain playing squad, I want Arsenal to have that level where I can say, cool, the owner, whoever, they've brought in the players, it's just you. I don't want to do this. Yeah, he's done this, but then that's a reason and all of this. There's too many of them sort of factors there for why Arsenal are not where they used to be. I'm starting to sweat, man. So yeah, man, maybe it's this hoodie. Take it off in a bit, but you get the point, man. I'm scared that we could invest in the wrong players historically. Now, generally, people sign bad players all the time. You know, things don't work out and whatnot, but some people have better track records than us. And for every Gabriel, for every Martinelli, for every Tierney for 25 million, but how many times have we got it wrong? 100%. I'm skeptical, won't believe it until I see the sells and buys 100, man. But I want Lokonga. I think he's a good player with scope to develop and all of those sort of things. So it's self-explanatory. Make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Where are we at in terms of likes? We're at 136. Let's keep running that one up, please, people. I appreciate that. But let's keep going. Obviously, make sure you're here for the watch-alongs later. What else are you lot saying, man? It could be the same situation with Lampard where he still couldn't get Chelsea ticking with the players he brought. But then you have to, bro, you're gone then. You're gone. You know? Football's a funny game, you know. If Thomas Tuchel struggles next year, then he might get the clip. But, you know, Thomas Tuchel at this moment in time, he didn't bring anyone else in, you know. He's just got a tune. He's just better able to do it. That's what you want to be, bro. You spent all that money. You're a problem in this thing. They don't need to be world-class players, man. Just players that can improve this thing, really and truly. 300 million. I don't think they had 300 million, but they did spend a healthy cap, man. You know, I won't go as far as to say that RKG, but you know, you man won the champs in it. I can't say it for a pride thing, but it is what it is. Exactly. We keep doing the same things and expecting different results. Definition of insanity. Literally. Oh man. DG, do you agree with all DG, do agree with all you're saying? But one time Arteta was brave was to keep Aubameyang out the game when he was late. No, I respect it. No, I said that. You know, I didn't say that, but I said he's shown bravery. I didn't agree with it, but like I said, there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. But Villarreal, false nine, like I said, he done the false nine thing. I think it was stupid keeping Willian in the squad ahead of other players, but you kept Willian in the squad. So I give you your dues for that, but you know, it is what it is in that regards. That's 2 incidences. Probably is a PR stunt, man. Yeah, he did bench him. I'll give him credit, you know, but that's one. When it's been time to drop other players, you know, the favored ones or change things, he's stuck with things. He's done some good things at this club, as I've said before, but at the same time, he's got it wrong. For every, you know, he's I won't say he's got playing against the top 6 on lock, but he's got a way of playing against the bigger teams because we're being reactive. He's still yet to show me a style of play. This isn't an Arteta hate thing. I am just keeping it true, man, and talking on what I've seen. Top 4 next season, I don't know at this moment in time, but it's not going to include Arsenal if it continues like this. We can easily spend over 200 million, especially when you take into account how many players we will sell, even some of the Haaland boys. I hear you and I agree, but that's assuming we get top figures. Again, we need to remember we can make sense below of this, but you know, in today's day and age, it says you're only as good as the hustlers you've got at your club. You know, have we been hustling? You know, how many good examples of player sales is there? One off the top of my head is Iwobi. Other than that, you know, and this is the season where I think it has to change, because if Maitland-Niles wants to keep it moving, get decent money. Joe, decent money. Maitland-Niles. But somehow this club will only get 10 million for Joe Willock. Somehow they will get twanged. Again, you're only as good as your hustlers. Is it bad that I'm optimistic? No, be optimistic, bro. Should always be optimistic as a football fan. Should be able to dream, man. If you're good at what you can do, you can use any tools. I hear that, but you know, you can technically, you know, you can get a toothpick and dig a grave. I'm pretty sure them funeral donnies wouldn't want to do that, but I hear that. I do hear that, man. Big up yourself, Paul, man. Appreciate that you're locked in. You're right, Paul. Bro, Paul, seeing is believing, man. You know, seeing is believing. And obviously a bit of that it might just be washed from the papers, but it might be filtered from Arsenal because of obviously Daniel X always buying the club. You must imagine this, you know, in the next week or something. It always happens, you know, every couple of months, Daniel X is preparing a new offer and all of these sort of things. My guy, I don't know when Arsenal season ticket renewal is. I don't work for them, man. You're gonna have to go on the website. A man said I've seen DG more times this week than his missus, broski. Shout out to you lot, but you definitely want to see your missus more than me. I know I have a sexy face, but I'm sure hers is prettier, man. Unless you're that Jason Donny who was here last time. I know his girl probably looks like Harry Maguire. Still, Jason, the beef will never ever end, man. Crazy. With proper investment this summer, Arsenal can get top four with only one game a week. All depends on Kroenke. All depends on Kroenke to invest. All depends on Arteta, because he ain't showed nothing, man. He ain't showed anything. DG Loki, this is the only positive. Remember, we only finished 6 points off the top four and 6 points from 11th. And how many times were we actually in the top four throughout the whole season? It's a bit like if we look at Emre's season where we finished a point off, we put a point off top four and we got to the final. It's looking at it with roasted, you know. I'm not saying you, but this is where football is now in a dangerous territory. You can look at as many narratives as you want. And I think with many Arsenal fans, the truth isn't pretty. So they start lying, you know, overestimating our defensive improvement. You know, we have improved. We're third for clean sheets. But then you start looking at errors leading to goals, how long we've held on to leads, how long we've conceded after holding on to leads, individual errors, positional errors in the build up to goals, the sequences in play. These start telling a picture. So I really don't know. It's not even, to a degree, it's not even about investment. It's about what you can get. It's about the coaching. Look at Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, of recent, they're getting some top class players that are really wanted, but he's worked with what he's had. For a time, he was rolling with Wes Morgan. You know, Cienci, we wanted him, but he wasn't a bad boy like he is now. They've got a tune out of him. You know, he's promoted academy Luke Thomas. You know, Harvey Barnes is there and about and things. You know, so it's not even about that. I think not you, but I think that's where people look for positives where there's none. Where you just gotta accept it at face value. Yeah, we were whatever points off the top four, but we was however many points near 11th. You know, how many we never put. At no point did we put 10 games, 10 decent performances together in a row. We're the only runs we went on is when the pressure was off. Fair play, we beat Chelsea. It is what it is. At December, but then we played Brighton where they were poor. West Brom was shit. You know, it is a bit of a myth. It's false images. And I don't think we've played well all season, last season, personally, because I've always maintained that on my channel. You know, I told you, look, the only time, you know, I think we played really, really well beyond the obvious is Fulham. You know, I told you, like, the second game of the season, this is shaky. You know, many of the thing is, Arsenal fans only want to talk about things when we get ripped and it gets like this. When these same mistakes and same things are happening, but we're winning, nobody cares. You're seen as negative. You know, and that's the problem with Arsenal fans because of where we've got. And I blame the owners. There's never one truth. I mean, there's never more than one truth. It's always you blame Arteta, you blame Kroenke, you blame this. It's the players. This. I don't think we can get top four, so we can't get top four. I think we could have got top four where the place is in the middle. I just think fans have an inability because in life, you know, people like to surround themselves with lies. Dead, man. And obviously there's that as well. Poor wage structure, giving man meaty players big wages. Look at Kolasinac. His agent did a madness, 100K a week because he was a free transfer. Now you can't flog him. And you're really going to have to try to flog him. Let's see what that one there throws up, man. Arteta might be under severe pressure, and I think so too. I think if he F's about, he ain't making it past December. But then I say it, but then I look at it, what pressure? We think there's pressure, but the man, he's left to his own devices. What pressure? Because he should have been on pressure last season. Is what it is, man. I think it's Wasp, broski, but I don't trust Kroenke, but I accept it at face value. We're just reading about it. When we wake up and see somebody's been signed, what is, well, it is, man. Daily DG, this is your daily dose of optimism. I don't think I sound pretty optimistic, but fair play, man. I just never lie to you lot. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm just not going to tell you lot to be happy. If I don't see 10 reasons to be happy, I'm not going to tell you lot to be in la la land. If I don't see 10 reasons to be upset, I'm not going to tell you lot to be doom and gloom. Where really, it's just blind. I've only got blind optimism. I can't see a single reason for how Arsenal's going to turn it around. But I don't work for the club. They might have a plan. They always move like they've got a plan. Let's see, innit? Let's see. Time will tell. And like I said, they're going to have to work their magic like they've never worked it before. It's like, bro, Arteta, pressure's on. Edu, you've got to pull it out. Pull it out. Because I haven't seen what you've done, what you've brought to the table. I really haven't seen what Edu's brought to the table, man. I mean, you could get a manager, but Arteta's their guy, innit? Like, if it is true and Arteta's their guy, it doesn't matter if they want Arteta to spend that, man. I wouldn't say it's the waiting that kills me necessarily. There's just having no real confidence, man, that the job will be done when it's needed to. You got it spot on. Say so many safe spaces, especially the social, bro, because man don't want to look, bro. Man want to go viral and talk nonsense and have agendas, and people want to be wrong and strong. This is where I don't really like talking about football, because I don't really think Arteta is cut to task right now. But if he shows me that he's level, I have no problems in saying you're the guy. Certain people, Arteta can never do no right. The only person I probably won't praise if he turns it around is Kroenke. I'll always allow people, but it is what it is. Conte isn't coming here. I mean, Conte isn't coming here, and it won't last for Conte, because when he's asking for several things and we're messing about, he's going to keep him. He will say in the press conference, I asked for 20 million to sign this guy. They said I can only have £2, so we haven't got this player. So I'm now using this guy, and this is why we're not performing. They don't want to deal with that. Let's be real. Arteta, if he's at a club where they're trying to be serious, there's pressure on him. They're asking him why you're doing things, and you're getting clipped. Do you get it? At other clubs, there's a better owner, so it's a mutual interest. He's allowed that luxury to be in his free to his own devices without being under significant pressure. You can like Allegri as much as you want, man. You're not gonna get him though. So yeah, man. We'll have to see, man. Time will tell. I'm not really losing it because we haven't signed anyone. It's just, for me, it's the confidence that I don't know if Arsenal are going to do everything. So it is what it is, man. It really is what it is. It is what it is. Moving away from that, though, let's look at some more of other headlines and things like that. Not that we can stay positive, but should we try and stay semi-positive, folks? Make sure you've hit that like button and you've set your reminders if you haven't already, folks. We spoke about this yesterday, but Kieran Tierney is apparently on the verge of signing a new 5-year deal. Well, welcome news, man. He had a good game against Scotland. He is our future captain. He is certified, man. Kieran Tierney on the brink of signing new 5-year deal at Arsenal, with talks at an advanced stage between the Gunners and the Scotland defender. They want to reward him for his superb performances at the club, which well-deserved, man. Well-deserved. We all know he's one of the most important players, and he should be paid accustomed to. And I would probably back Tierney, Saka, Smith Rowe, who's going to sign a new deal. Everyone who signed a new deal, probably in the next 18 months, will sign improved ones. Apparently, he's expected to commit his future to Arsenal when he signs an improved contract. Apparently, it'll be done when he's finished with the Euros, and he will get out in excess of 100K a week. Who deserves 100K a week? There's two left backs at this club. on paper. 3 if you count Saka. You know, Saka, he's young, but it's not my money. I'd give him 100k a week. It's mismanaged elsewhere. Tierney deserves 100k a week. So why they both earn if Saka plays left back, that is. So why is Kolasinac on that? Tells you everything. But shout out to Tierney because it's a big boy contract, big boy stuff, you know. As we know, he's doing his thing at the Euros. He joined in 2019. The only problem you've got is the injury issues with him. So, yeah, man. Obviously, it goes on to say we're still in talks with Smith Rowe. So, yeah, man. Apparently, Arsenal recognised the importance of this summer in building a team to compete for the top 4 after a dire last season. Yeah, man. Let's see. Seeing is believing, man. Less talking, more doing, man. I've had enough of chattings. Chattings isn't going to do much for anybody at all. So there's that. So moving away from all of that as well, Maitland-Niles. And again, Maitland-Niles, you know, he's very critical about not having a decision, no one talking to him. That tells you everything. If no one's called you, silence is deafening, as they say. But for what it's worth in relation to him, Xhaka, don't like you no more, mate. Shut up. Don't want to hear a word of what you've got to say. Apparently, Watford eye Ainsley Maitland-Niles deal as Arsenal plan to raise transfer funds. If you give us João Pedro, I'll be on for it. For Maitland, that would be good. You know, probably gets to play midfield. His versatility might kill him. Wouldn't have to move too far because Watford train near us. We'll have to see. Apparently, newly promoted, not with these pop-ups, newly promoted Watford are eyeing a move for Arsenal midfielder Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Southampton are also keen on the England international who could be allowed to leave the Emirates this summer. Watford and Southampton are both set to make moves next week. We all know he's got 2 years left. We all know Southampton were keen in January. I want Maitland to stay, funny enough, but I'm tired of just people moaning and crying and, you know, woe is me. Let's just get players that want to be here, get rid of Kroenke, get a new manager, and things could be wavy, but it's all a dream. Apparently, Arsenal may also be of the view that they need to raise funds to strengthen their own position in the transfer market. Oh my God, how many times have I read the same thing? We all know Maitland-Niles has spoken on the need for wanting clarity. And obviously, if you haven't heard before, he said, I've got 2 years left on my contract, so I'm due to be going back there. Obviously, once I go back, I need to speak to the manager and see where he sees me, what ideas he has, and we can move on from there. So he's right in that regard. He said the main thing that is needed is clarity. You need clarity for both parties or however many parties are involved. You just need clarity. Once that stuff is worked out, everything else will follow from there. And it's true. Like, Maitland, if we're honest, you're only staying beyond being a squad player at fullback and midfield in the homegrown aspect. You know, we're only giving you you should probably be looking to give you a new deal because you're 23, because you've become an England international, because, you know, you might be someone, but it's a time to make tough decisions. It's not a time to, you know, the fact is you haven't been a mate. You cried about playing in midfield. You went to West Brom. You didn't do much. You didn't play bad, but you didn't stand out. That's why Joe Willock, you know, I can tell you that I could probably imagine they're not leaving Joe Willock alone. You know, they're not leaving Joe Willock alone at all, people. Joe Willock's phone is probably buzzing off. You know, he's probably thinking, is this my girl or my mum? And seeing this Artel because of where he's played. You haven't done nothing. And I'm not saying you have to score mad goals and do mad things, but you haven't done nothing. You know, even in the final third, you haven't been good enough. You cried about playing midfield. Go and do it now. F off. Go and do it and play somewhere else. As much as I would like to stay, I'm tired of these love dramas, man. I'm tired of every summer Maitland staying, Eddie staying, Joel staying, El Nene, Xhaka. Bro, just deal with this, man. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. What has he said here, people? He also said, we'll see what happens, but all this free time gets to your head sometimes, thinking when the club is linked with this person or that person, it gets to your head and swallows you up sometimes. Pause. I mean, that's poor mentality, bro. Obviously, if the club's being linked with stuff, you're thinking other things, but there's no divine right. Nobody cares anymore. You come from Maitland, you're Maitland-Niles from the academy. No one gives a crap. Are you a good enough footballer to add something to the table? If you are, you will play. If not, F off. You know, there's going to get to a point. It's not going to matter that Saka is Haaland. Are you the best left back or left wing or right wing? It's like what's his face, man? It's like Eddie didn't bang. Are you the guy to do? It's like Balogun. I'm happy Balogun signed a new deal and he's, you know, we know Balogun loves the socials and he made no meal of it. But at the same time, the romance is gone. Balogun, obviously it's a bit different, but there's going to come a time where are you good enough or not? We can't hold man's hand. Make yourself a priority. You haven't made yourself a priority. There's almost a false sense of where I think he sees his ability as well, personally. And if you know, believe in yourself, this just sounds like someone who don't believe in themselves. You know, silence is deafening. If the club haven't been in constant dialogue with you during your loans, if the manager hasn't contacted you, if, like you say, you've not been given word, That tells you everything. And for me, well, go on for your agent. You swapped agents. What's your agent doing? He should be getting these questions. He said, my head gets like that sometimes, and it's only when I'm running, training, and working that my head gets a little bit clearer, because I know what I want for next season. I know where my head's going to be, regardless of what team I'm at. That's not going to be a factor in my mind. So yeah, do your thing. But it just seems like a bit woe is me, man. The world don't care. The world does not give a crap. Everyone's got a sub story. Everyone's got dreams. Everyone's got ambitions. You know, seize the future. But that's Maitland-Niles to Watford for what it is, for what it's worth, people. So there's that. Allegedly, Arsenal, you know, we've been linked with Andre Silva. You know, if Lacazette keeps it moving, Andre Silva. Again, we've been linked with him forever. I don't want it. I'm not really keen on it personally, per se. But just to talk to you guys, Arsenal in talks to sign Andre Silva as Alexandre Lacazette's replacement. I'm not really for it, man. Arsenal have begun talks over signing Frankfurt striker Andre Silva. According to the transfer window podcast, Arsenal have expressed their interest. Now, have we expressed our interest, or are we considering, if Lacazette goes, let's put the filters out in Europe? Let's put the filters out in Europe, see what strikers are available. It could have been that. But the report claims that Arsenal have already begun work on a deal to bring the Portugal international to the Emirates Stadium, but have told the striker that they need to sell before his signing can be completed. It is also claimed that the club are looking to offload Lacazette, but are facing difficulty due to the 30-year-old salary, which is approximately 200k a week. Meanwhile, Frankfurt are holding out for a £34 million transfer fee for Silva, but it's expected that the Bundesliga club will be forced to accept a lower figure. Allegedly, he impressed in Germany, and he finished second behind Lewandowski. He hit 28 goals, people, which is quite good. But I'd rather no striker than him, unless he shows it to me again, really. You know, I want Isaac, but again, it's like when you're younger and your mum gives you the Argos catalogue, and you say you can write as many things you want. You can dream, you can arouse your own imagination, dreaming about having all these things in the Argos catalogue, but just in terms of, it's not going nowhere beyond just being written on a piece of paper. So that's how I feel with certain signings, if I'm completely honest with you. But we keep moving, man. What else is there? Just come off my ski, man. You're upsetting me. What's this? We spoke about Camavinga yesterday. I'm not going to bore you lot with that, man. But allegedly, Hossam Aouar, boy, you lot know me. I'm a big fan of Aouar, but I can't see it. You know, it's like clockwork. All the other, we was linked with Aouar last year. Then Buendia's gone. Then half the names we've been linked with gone, Maddison and all that. And now we're back to the Aouar stuff. Arsenal set to launch Hossam Aouar transfer bid and can finally land long-term target for bargain 20 million. Well, Lyon are broke. Teams in France generally are struggling. And they didn't like us. They didn't qualify for Europe. So there probably is an opportunity to get him. But same way, you know, I don't think he's a priority for other big clubs like that, because he had a decent season, but he hardly set the world alight. I'm sure he wants to play in Europe, or he might even say, you know, I might just stay at Lyon for another year. We also got to remember it's a World Cup year next year. So a lot of people need to think very hard and wise as to what they're doing. But for what it's worth, Arsenal are ready to launch another attempt to sign Lyon's Hossam Aouar. The Gunners were priced out of a move for the 22-year-old Frenchman last summer, with Lyon demanding up to 55 million. However, with their failure to qualify for the Champions League, it means Aouar will cost as little as 20 million, a figure well within the North London club's price range. And apparently, I'm not going to say the article, but this publication understands that Arsenal are already in a contract worth 100k a week to lure the midfielder to the Emirates. At the second time of asking. We all know he got 8 goals and 4 assists last season, and he's been on the radar for Liverpool. And I mean, he'd be a great squad player for Liverpool. And again, Jurgen Klopp, them and they have been, you know, challenging for Champions Leagues and Prems. He's been linked with City, you know, he's been linked with a couple European clubs, you know, and he's available at a cut price, you know, so it might happen. And especially, I don't know if he's going to go City, but they need to inject youth into their team. So I'd love him, you know, I'd love him, but we ain't getting him, people. For what it's worth, Arsenal are currently leading the race as they look to bolster their creative attacking options ahead of the new season. He'd be a great man in the pivot to play next to Partey, and then you've got Smith Rowe in the 10 or a next 10. Once again, we all know Xhaka, Guendouzi, and a couple of players are going to keep it moving. The last game of the season, he said, Lyon's last game of the season, he said, this could be my last game for the club. But again, can do all of that. Money talks. And we heard a lot of rumours in relation to Aouar. His parents wanted more money, or his brother. Arsenal did all they could, and then Lyon changed things. Arsenal were never in it. We heard a lot of different things in relation to that. So we'll never know. But for what it's worth, it's a myth, man. It's an absolute myth for me. I can't see it happening, but I wouldn't mind it. You know, you could get him for 20 million. You could get a more organic 10. You know, I'd be all for it, man. I'd rather get Lokonga, Aouar, and if it could happen, James Maddison, but it won't. Or one of them top targets. And for me, we need a centre half. I need a centre half. I need a right back. Right back, centre mid, centre half. Them areas are not addressed properly. For me, all hope's gone for the season. Like it's a myth for me because I just can't see it. I think that would be a definition of insanity thing. Personally, go back. You know, for oh. But yeah, we're buying hella players if you believe Arsenal, man. We're buying hella, man. Doing hella things. Make sure you've hit the like button, people. Make sure you're all here for Hungary versus France to come, and also Portugal, Germany. So it is what it is in that regards, people. I can't, like I said, can't see it happening. Sounds like dream chasing. Bro, we're not getting Maddison, bro. You can get any player you want in this world, but if you put the money down, and bro, you're not gonna do it in the broke things we're doing. You can sign players without Europe. It's just Arsenal fuck about. Nah, man, I think Silva's decent, but you know, I don't want it. Rather go for Isaac, but again, my chest is high. Like I always say, if you can't go Aldi, you can't go Waitrose. If you can't buy shit in Aldi, you can't go Waitrose. You know, it's not about thinking man's good. Maitland-Niles is good enough to bag some sort of spot in this team or have some way more sort of development. You know, we should be sitting here saying, you know, I know you're not Kimmich, but you clearly know Kimmich is a centre mid doing a job at right back and he can do it well, but he can play in midfield. With Maitland, the lines are blurred. And maybe it's a culture thing because England do this, but are you a centre mid? I think you're a centre mid who's been used at right back, but a certain man would say you're a fullback that's not been playing there. We don't know what you are. And I think you've been messed around with the development. I think Arteta's peed around, but at some level, if I'm 22, 23, I've got to take responsibility as to whether my life in a footballing aspect is not where I want. And he's clearly got that, because why do you change agents? Why do you force moves? You know, I think his biggest problem is he let Arteta lie to him. He probably had his heart set on leaving in the summer. Obviously, you got to play in the cup. He did his thing. Arteta probably gassed him, and then you saw what happened. Promises are a comfort to a fool. Arteta's only allegiances is to himself. He doesn't care if you play or not. He just would love to know, if I changed into a back three, I've got you who can play on the left or the right, because you weren't even getting in the team when we're playing a back four more time. I don't think it's a Maitland-Niles don't believe in himself. It's just, bro, this is the real world. I think Joe Willock went through that. I've been saying for years, you need to go out on loan. I don't think some of these youngsters, they see how it's the real world. And I do think there's too much divine right with some of these young Arsenal players. You know, they tell them they're very special, and then you are special, but you're not special anymore. You're in the first team. It's like being a sick one. I always use the Real Madrid example. You could be a wavy wonder kid, big fish in the small pond. You know, let's just say there's this great player from Spain, from Jamaica, from Ghana, from London. You know, just these several examples. Yeah, sick young players. Any competition, they bad it up. They're the best in school. Any team they've been in, they're the best. They go to Barca or Madrid now. Are they special anymore, people? All of these players, like all the same examples, they all at the same time go to Madrid or them environments there. Are they still special? I would say yes, but I'd say no, you're no longer special, because that's got you the minimum in there. That's why you're there. You're there because of that talent. You're average now in comparison to this. This is the point. And I've got concerns over Arteta because, again, I want to see this season. I don't really trust him with these young players because he doesn't show me bravery, man. We'll have to see, man. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if we would have, but I just don't think we have that. Big up the members, then big up Jay. I don't think you understand how football works, Georgie. I do agree. You know, Leicester will want more upfront payments, but you know, there's very few transfers that you're just going to get 60 mil cash paid in full. He cost 60 million. Wire transferred 60 mil. It don't work like that. And he ain't coming for what it's worth, but it just doesn't work like that. Camavinga or Basuma, they're two different players. I'd rather if you get Lokonga and you've got Partey, I'd rather Camavinga. Camavinga's a better player. He's going to be. He'll repay himself, really, man. The smart money would be Aouar, Camavinga, Basuma. Well, depends how much they're all going to cost. There's many players that could be the smart money, man. I relax, man. We're going to get there. We're going to get there, man. Of course, I'm not buying it. If you go and spend 250 million, I'll say, yeah, but these lot would spend 250 million and still get zanged. It won't be spending 250 million on players, but they'll probably buy 11 shit, man. Like, it'll be dead, man. It'll be dead. Big up the nation. I'm late, but we baking. Jay, it doesn't matter, man. Bro, you didn't get it paid in full. Like, there's different terminology. You did not get 70 million, 80 million in a bank account in full. That's not how transfers work. But I'm going to leave you to it, man. You clearly know the transfer thing. It don't work like that. Like, do you know how every club would be broke if every transfer they made is exact money going into that bank account at the same time? There's different variables, time dates, different sort of stipulations. It's very complex, but you did get it, quote unquote, in full. It just don't work like that, bro. Technically spent money, not the money that's being spoken of, but it is what it is, man. You ain't getting none of that, man. Bro, trust me, 5 Xhakas, 5 on Ennies. It's just cap, man. Portugal game landing, bro. Don't worry, man. Portugal game landing, but bro, it's just I just want to get back to talking about the Euros, really, because it's frustrating talking about Arsenal, really. I appreciate everyone who's hit the like button. We're at 237. 200 is the goal, and we've done it. 400 of you locked in. Make sure you've hit the like button. What other rumours are there? I don't think there is any. And then when you look at it, where's the money going to come from, people? Again, this is where you have to see Kroenke's real test. If you see if Kroenke really cares. Because again, we are making money. You can probably look at Arsenal's balance sheet and see a profit somewhere and also see a loss. But again, unless he's injecting this 250 million out of his own pocket, where is it coming from? Because you look at this, people, so in relation to Arsenal, obviously everybody is suffering because of, they're returning now, but the lack of bums on seats in stadiums and the rest of it. He said, if you're going to put prices up and in turn raise your match day income, there's got to be a justification for that. Given not just the ESL, but the entire season that Arsenal had, which was one of, shall we say, modest performances, can you ask more from fans who are already paying the highest prices in the country? Madness. In the pre-COVID era, they were still earning 96 million from match day income in a near 60,000 seater stadium. You can't ask for premium prices and then add another 2-3% on top of that if the quality of the product isn't going up 100%. So again, you look at our financial issues, where's the P's going to come from, people? Unless that man up there injects finances, how? Literally how? And a team is a reflection of the manager. A club is a reflection of its owner. So we're going nowhere fast, man. It is what it is. You're just going to have to accept it for what it is, man. Of course I don't, man. Everybody's asking me the same question. Of course I don't. Of course I do not think we're spending 250 million. Oh, you clearly don't know what goes on in transfers, Georgie. Just calm down. Like, listen, brother, I don't care whether you spend 80 in full or 100. I'm literally telling you how transfers work. You don't know how it works. You did not get 80 million banned straight up front. You didn't. You might have got X amount then, and then it adds up to 80. But you never got 80 million pounds in a direct bank transfer. But if that is the case, bro, please, you're right. Cool, it's cool. Please stop commenting. I don't care. Maguire's got nothing to do with me. One love to Leicester. Leicester's got fuck all to do with me. Your conversation has fuck all to do with me. Like, I rarely get frustrated, but brother, allow it now, bro. Like, allow it now, because you're ruining the product now, innit? Like, allow it, bro. Of course it's cap, brother. Big up all the Trinidad ones locked in. I appreciate everybody, man. I know what goes on at Leicester, bro. If you know what goes on in Leicester, you shouldn't be. The way you explained it to somebody might be ignorant and wrong then. Relax. You're getting blocked, man. I ain't got time for BS, man. Just come out my thing, little kid. I might be late on this. I just tuned in. What are your thoughts on Arsenal's next spend circling around social media? I haven't seen it, Paris, so I don't know. I don't think Solomon Manor would be a good signing. I'm always linked with him, and I think that's pretty it, man. I wouldn't be happy with Andre Silva as a replacement. Bro, this is it. Like, it's just pure ignorance, bro. Like, it just didn't happen, did it? Like, man, I'm saying bank transferred 80 million. It just didn't happen. Like, and even if it did, bro, I'm telling you, cool, and you're still chatting to me about it. I don't care. Like, what's it got to do with, man? Unless you're sending that to my bank account. Allow me, man. Thank you very much, Adu. I'm good, Makili. I hope you're good as well, man. EG, morning, my brother. I mentioned Camavinga to you the other day and you shrugged it off when I said Fabrizio had mentioned him as a possibility. Again, I don't believe it until I see it. I love Camavinga. I've been doing videos on Camavinga. I want him. I don't care what Fabrizio Romano said. I just want to see a man holding a shirt. I can tell you he's got a year left. I can tell you Arsenal are interested and prepared to offer Saliba. We can do whatever. But until I see a man of that caliber in the shirt, it's irrelevant, you know? It is irrelevant. I wouldn't say I've shrugged it off, but he's a quality player. They're going to be wanted. He's one of them seen as joining Mbappe and Haaland to a slight degree. He's going to be wanted. Pay the money, you get what you want. But if you're flapping around with all respect to Basuma, Lokonga, and all of this, I would love Camavinga. I want to be wrong. I want Camavinga to sign. I want to sit here and say, yo, we got him. But it's dead. Fabrizio Romano doesn't give it more clout than me because until I see one of them say bids made, contract, tactics, I just keep hearing we're interested. Again, if you don't work for the club, then maybe they're doing something in the background, but you can only comment in on face value, man. Bro, it's do you know what it is? I get frustrated, bro. Bro, he's ruining it for you, man, bro. Because you lot, I'm answering you lot's questions. We're having a good time. Man, are telling me about Leicester, bro. Leicester's a fantastic club. I don't care about Harry Maguire, bro. Should have probably played yesterday. I literally don't care, bro. I don't give a fuck. EG ain't got 50k subscribers. You want me to care about millionaires that are playing for United and we're playing for Leicester? Brother, get out of here, man. I got my big subscribers. Man are saying they've woken up at 6:30 a.m. You want me to care? I don't give a crap. Arsenal through and through, even though all these silly stories coming out, same thing since moving to the Emirates, bro. I love our football club, but they're going to kill us, man. They're going to kill us. You're right, man. Back to the Euros. That's it. Camavinga is a wavy player, man. Bro, newspapers, don't kill the messenger. I do think technically we'll spend the money. Is what it is. I don't think anyone hyped up Medley personally. Bro, of course Arsenal's ticket prices are expensive. How many years did I say on this channel and you lot said in your own chats that the one consistency is ticket prices and stuff? We've seen consistency and actually getting better at charging people an arm and a leg. You know, people have paid a premium to see people slipping and all this sort of stuff, man. It's been absolutely atrocious in that regards, man, what we've been doing. But you're right, man. If we had 250 million, we wouldn't be getting bullied by Villa to sign Emi Buendia. I agree with that 100%. But at the same time, it's just because you got money doesn't mean you have to do things. Like, I can't lie. I'm not that I'm a millionaire, but just because I'm a millionaire, it doesn't mean I'm going to pay certain prices for certain things. So by that logic, I wouldn't say it's the same, but I agree with you at face value. You know, if the money was there, you get Buendia because if anything worse, he's a good player for our squad. He's not here though, so it's dead, man. Of course, I would take Van der Beek, but it's not going to happen, man. Bro, if we could sell Lacazette and bring in Isaac, I'm all for that. All for that. Camavinga, he's got a year left in it. So, boy, you probably got to try test the waters with 50 million, see where that gets you. But again, probably need a bit more. But then Rennes are playing a dangerous game. If you put the money down, you get the player. But Arsenal playing about, man. A man said, pick up DG. These men have vexed you this morning, bro. This is why I have the Nielsen as my profile pick. Unless I see the player holding the Arsenal shirt, then I'll be happy. Not even that, man, are telling me about Leicester, bro. Like, you see, that's one thing I hate about football. You got stats, man, and you got finance dons. They did pay 80 million. I tell you about these match attack dons. If I throw you a football, you're going to look at it all awkward. Tell me, man. Not being in Europe this coming season is a blessing in disguise. Arsenal will somehow manage to turn it into a nightmare. I get it. I agree with it in theory. But, yeah, man, we'll somehow find a way to F that one up, man. A man said, DG, when you going to sign the fix so we got our right back and can focus on other positions? I see your goal the other week. Big up. I would love to, man. I'd love to. Do you lot say, oh, DG doesn't track back. He doesn't get back. And I'll do the Xhaka thing to you lot as well. I can't lie, man. If you lot stress me out, I can't lie, man. I'll go out like Xhaka as well. Like, what are you, man, saying? But yeah, man said, bro, you stream in France, Hungary. Come on, my guy. Of course I am, man. Of course I am. Is that a trick question? Well, they are, my guy. 2 games today. I should do Poland, Spain, but allow me, man. Allow me. I want to watch that in the pub, man. I would take Edward, but I'd rather try this Isaac thing. To be fair, Edward would be cheaper. I don't know, but I'd be trying to get 25, 30. But I'd rather just leave it, really, man. Bro, Ak, hope you did well in your exam, my dude, man. You know, forget coming late. Things always gonna be here. Man said huge day for football. I'm hyped. I'm hyped as well, man. I'm hyped now that Arsenal's being poor. Like, and again, I'm probably being a bit stressful to you, man, because you lot, like, I'm quite getting vexed about the lack of transfers. But it is what it is, man. Come on. Nah, Edward's a baller. Very good technically, but I just want to, we need to sort out, we just need to sort out for me, let's sort out the right areas. Because as much as we say we need a striker, I don't feel comfortable buying strikers and wingers if I'm still crying about the midfield, whether it's an 8 or a 10. I'm still concerned about right back. I'm still wondering if something happens to Tierney, what's going to happen there. And I'm scared for the centre half thing. For me, that's fixing your house. I always use the house as an example. If you ain't got running plumbing work, literally, if you can't take a poo or take a piss in your house, if you ain't got running water so you can clean your skin, if you ain't got food in your fridge so you can feed your belly, you can't be buying PS5 and, you know, fancy wall chandeliers and all of that. That's the strikers for me. They're the creme de la cremes, with respect, man. Of course, I'd be happy with Madders, but, well, Madders ain't going to be happy with us. That's why he's not coming. Man said Mbappe or bust. That was what I did in Football Manager, and we did it. Ben White's not a right back. He's a centre-half, but he can play there. But yeah, man, I don't want none of that shoehorning stuff. If guys have to be able to do it, like if there's injuries and whatnot, I don't mind people filling in and having the ability, but I don't want to go into the new season relying on Callum Chambers as first choice right back. We've been down that road. Don't let recency, listen, big up Chambers because I think he deserves to stay. But don't fans do this thing where they start forgetting things. You know, the man started forgetting El Nene's Mr. Backwards, man. You know, Bellerin under Arteta, he started moving mad. You know, certain players, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is their level. They just revert to type. A lot of these players revert to type. Are you lot not bored? Or I am anyways. Of several players, there's 38 games. The opening 10, we're like, raw, what's going on here? This guy's really changed. The next 10, hey, he's a flop. The next 5, he looks good. The next 10, he looks good. I'm tired of all of that, man, personally. Do you think that we can be a lot more aggressive in the transfer market, Devon? Of course. You know, without knowing what we're trying to do, of course. We continue to hear about a list, but we don't seem to be moving quickly enough. For me, in terms of outgoings, I would say I want to see more quickness, man. Because some of these players, bro, who wants them? Big up my people in Hawaii. I appreciate that. I, man, wish I could get a flight out there, man. The weather must be wavy there. It's peeing it down in England. Hope you're doing well and safe, my killie, man. Would you take the pay? Yeah. If for nothing worse, I know it's not the right thing to say, but, you know, the pay is going to do the wavy drip on Instagram. So is Pepe and Lacazette and Aubameyang. So at least we'll have drippers. We'll be losing in style. And you see in our yellow kit, you know, we'll be losing in style. We'll be bottling Brentford away in style, man. So, yeah, I'm going to leave you lot, though, people. We've been here over an hour. Shameless plug, but we're working to a strict time schedule. You know, big up everyone that's locked in and all those sort of things. I'll be back again for Hungry, but I'm going to have to love and leave you and whatnot. And them things there. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you catch Portugal versus Germany. I'll be back to talk Arsenal. I want to say tomorrow, but I don't want to lie to you. Definitely Monday. If there is something to talk about Arsenal, man. Drip. We might as just be drippers, bro. Just be drippers, bro. Make sure you get your DG drip as well, man. You know, I big up everyone that's got some of them as well. You know, make sure you get your drip as well. Because at least we can win and drip in style. Make sure you get that. Links in the comments. Why not, man? Saucy drillers, innit? At least, man, I'm gonna have their hair cut. Wish I could get mine cut and look like nice and style. This is why I've just learned to accept it, man. Like, as much as I don't accept it and it kills me, I just accept a lot of this at face value now, man. Really and truly. A man said, show us your goal, man. You lot are rubbing out the goal. Sometimes I don't even want it, but I'm gonna leave you lot with that, man. So yeah, because I'm a nice guy, man.
Against this right back, Charlie.
Oh, I flopped it. You lot can't even see it, can you? I try to do the celebration. I try to do my celebration. Come on. Come on. The DG drippers. Like a Z thing. Look, Cavani celebration and that. Hey. Wow. But yeah, on a serious note, no more celebrations, bro. Love people. I'm out. I see you lot in the peace.